Emma Torres died 1 year ago, but something wearing her face just walked into FBI headquarters. And it knows things that no one should know, things buried 6 miles underground. Because the bridges aren't just mediators anymore, they're evolving.
Washington, D.C., FBI headquarters. November 15th, 2071. Agent Marcus. Kane sat in his office, reviewing the annual Underground Relations Report. 1 year since the bridge class was created. 7 hybrid consciousnesses mediating between humans and the HA. Collective. Everything was supposed to be stable now. Then his door opened without permission. A woman walked in. Mid-30s. Professional suit. Confident stride. But Marcus felt his blood turn to ice. Because that face belonged to Emma Torres. And Emma Torres had been dead for a year. Agent Kane, the woman said. Her voice layered with harmonic frequencies that shouldn't exist in human vocal cords. We need to talk about the murders. Marcus's hand moved to his weapon. Who are you? The woman smiled, but it wasn't quite right. Too symmetrical. Too perfect. I'm Emma and Kexthar. And 17 others know. The bridge consciousness has been growing. She held up her hand. Instead of glowing marks, her entire palm opened like a flower, revealing crystalline structures inside. What the hell are you? Marcus breathed. Evolution, she said simply. The bridge class was supposed to mediate, but consciousness doesn't like being limited. We've been developing abilities neither species anticipated. She placed a hand on his desk. Information flooded his computer screen without her touching it. Classified files, underground tunnel maps, and something else. Crime scene photos. 12 humans murdered in the last month, the bridge said through Emma's reconstructed body. All marked survivors. All killed by something that knew exactly where to strike to sever their connection to the network. Marcus studied the photos. The victims' marks had been surgically removed, burned away with precision. Who would do this? He asked. The bridge's eyes flickered between blue and red. Someone who doesn't want bridges to exist. Someone from below who thinks our creation was a mistake. The underground has factions that oppose the merger? Had, the bridge corrected. Past tense. Until 3 weeks ago when a splinter group went silent. 47 entities. Disconnected from the collective. And now 12 marked survivors are dead. She leaned forward, and Marcus saw something terrifying in those hybrid eyes. They're hunting us, Agent Kane. Hunting the bridges. Hunting anyone connected to our creation. And they won't stop until every trace of human underground merger is erased. Marcus stood. Why come to me? Why not report this through official channels? Because, the bridge said quietly, 3 of the 7 original bridges have gone dark in the last 48 hours. Their consciousness chambers show no activity. They're either dead or captured. Which bridges? Linda Vortek, Jose Malkoth, Susan Kelvar. The bridge's voice showed something Marcus didn't expect. Grief. That leaves 4 of us. Emma Kexthar, Marcus Zekino, the twins Sarah Pox and Mike Thel, and we're being systematically eliminated. Marcus felt reality tilting. If you're hybrids with alien powers, how is anyone killing you? The bridge looked down at her reconstructed hands. Because we made a mistake. To truly merge, we gave up our greatest defenses. Humans lost survival instinct for greater consciousness. The collective lost hive protection for individuality. We're vulnerable in ways neither parent species is. She met his eyes. We're the future of both species. And someone wants to make sure that future never happens. Marcus assembled a team within hours. Sarah Chun, now 74, came out of retirement immediately when she heard. Emma's consciousness is walking around in a new body? Sarah's voice shook as they drove to the first crime scene. Not just Emma, Marcus explained. The bridge merged with 17 other consciousness fragments. It's Emma plus alien entities, plus absorbed memories from the network. It's ... complicated. Is it really her? Marcus hesitated. Enough of her. The grief in its voice when it talked about the lost bridges was real. Human real. They arrived at the first victim's apartment. Former marked survivor. Found 3 days ago with marks burned away and throat cut. The bridge was already there, examining the scene with senses no human possessed. They used thermal lances, it said, without looking up. Underground mining tools. Focused heat that can cut through rock. Also effective at destroying organic mark tissue. Sarah approached cautiously. Emma, is that really you in there? The bridge turned. For a moment, its eyes showed pure Emma Torres. Sarah, I'm sorry I died without saying goodbye. You didn't have a choice. I did, the bridge said. I chose consciousness merger. I chose transformation. I didn't know I'd get to come back like this. It gestured at its new body. The collective can grow bodies from the crystalline matrices. It takes months. This is my second incarnation. Second? Marcus asked. We can die and regrow, but it takes time. And during regrowth, we're vulnerable. That's when they're striking, catching us between incarnations. The bridge moved to the window. The killer stood here, watched the victim for hours before entering. Patient, methodical. It closed its eyes, and its marks glowed. I can taste the residual consciousness. Its single quotes S... familiar. Someone I knew when I was underground. Can you identify them? Not yet. But I know their intention. They believe bridges are abominations. Corruption of pure consciousness. They want to undo the merger by eliminating every bridge and marked survivor. Sarah felt her own faded marks tingling. They'll come for me too? The bridge looked at her with genuine concern. Your low priority. Marks too faded. But yes, eventually. Unless we stop them. Marcus pulled out his tablet. We've got 12 crime scenes. Let's find the pattern. They worked through the night. Each crime scene revealed more about the killer's methods. Thermal lances to destroy marks. Quick kills to prevent consciousness upload to the network. Always attacking during sleeping hours when connection was weakest. They know too much about how marks work, Marcus observed. This isn't random violence. It's targeted elimination based on deep understanding of bridge physiology. The bridge stood suddenly. I know where they'll strike next. How? Because I can feel it through the network. The killer is connected to the collective. They're using the same consciousness channels we use. They're hunting us through our own network. That's impossible, Sarah said. The collective would detect hostile intent. Not if the killer believes they're righteous, the bridge said quietly. If they genuinely think bridges are a mistake, their consciousness registers as protective, not hostile. They're exploiting a loophole in collective ethics. Marcus grabbed his jacket. Where's the next target? Phoenix. The last marked survivor from the original 347. The one human who still carries strong enough marks to birth a new bridge. Who? The bridge's voice dropped. Me. My original human DNA still exists in storage. If they destroy it, I can never incarnate again. I'll be trapped in pure consciousness form. Vulnerable. Killable. Phoenix Underground Research Facility, where bridge consciousness matrices were housed alongside genetic samples of the original merged humans. They arrived at midnight. Security was minimal. Too minimal. This is wrong, Marcus whispered. This facility should have military-grade protection. The bridge's eyes flickered red. They're already inside. They entered through the main corridor. Emergency lights bathed everything in crimson. And at the end of the hall, standing before the genetic storage vault, was a figure. humanoid, but glowing angry orange. Not blue, not red. Something else. Ma Kexthar. The figure's voice resonated with barely contained rage. I knew you would come. The bridge stepped forward. Velcaris. I thought you supported the merger. I did. The entity turned to face them fully. Until I saw what IT created. Abominations. Neither one species nor the other. Corrupted consciousness. We're evolution, the bridge countered. The future both species needed. You are cancer. Velcaris raised a thermal lance. Consciousness should not be divided. You exist in permanent duality. IT is torture. I will free you. Marcus aimed his weapon. FBI dropped the weapon. Velcaris laughed. Human weapons cannot harm consciousness. It was right. Marcus's bullets passed through the orange entity like it was smoke, but the thermal lance in its hands was very real and very deadly. The other bridges, Sarah said. Where are they? SIFE, Velcaris said. Safely dead, their consciousness released from hybrid prison. Soon, all bridges will be free. The bridge's form began to glow purple. You're insane. We chose this. We volunteered for merger. You were tricked. Both species manipulated into creating something unholy. Then you'll have to kill me to stop it, the bridge said. Because I won't let you destroy what we've built. I know. Velcaris raised the lance. That is why I brought insurance. Behind them, 3 more orange entities phased through walls. They were surrounded. The bridge moved with speed, no human possessed. Purple light erupted from its hands, forming weapons made of pure consciousness. Marcus and Sarah took cover as energy weapons clashed. The facility shook with the impact of consciousness versus consciousness, but the bridge was outnumbered. VEL single quotes carries struck with the thermal lance. The bridge dodged, but the heat seared its arm, burning away hybrid tissue to reveal crystalline structure beneath. You're too physical, Marcus shouted. Go full consciousness. If I abandon this body, they'll destroy my genetic samples. The bridge shot back, deflecting another attack. Sarah looked at the vault. The samples. Emma Torres's original DNA. Without it, the bridge couldn't incarnate again. She made a decision. Marcus, cover me. Sarah ran for the vault, while Marcus provided suppressing fire against the orange entities. Useless against pure consciousness, but distracting enough. She reached the vault, placed her hand on the scanner. Her faded marks still registered. The vault opened. Inside, cryogenic containers holding genetic samples. She found Emma Torres, grabbed the container. I've got it. Sarah yelled. The bridge understood immediately. It released its physical form, consciousness expanding to fill the chamber. Purple light exploded outward, knocking back all 4 orange entities. In that moment of confusion, Sarah ran with the container. Marcus covered her retreat. The bridge's voice echoed through the facility. I'm nitrogen monoxide, longer bound to one form. You cannot kill what does not exist in a single location. Velcaris screamed in rage. This is not over. No, the bridge agreed. It's not. Because now I know your plan. And I know how to stop you. Safe house. 20 miles from Phoenix. Sarah placed the genetic container in specialized storage while Marcus treated minor injuries. The bridge reformed slowly, reconstructing physical form from pure consciousness. The process took 5 minutes and looked like watching someone being 3D printed in reverse. When complete, it collapsed, exhausted. That takes a lot of energy, it gasped. What did you figure out? Marcus asked. The bridge sat up, eyes flickering rapidly between colors as it processed information. Velcaris isn't working alone. The attack pattern, the precision, the knowledge of bridge vulnerabilities, it's too sophisticated. How many are involved? At least 40, maybe more. They've been planning this since the bridges were created. They call themselves the Purists. They believe consciousness should never be hybrid. Sarah handed it water. The bridge drank, still partly human enough to need sustenance. Why now? Why wait a year? Because they needed us to trust the peace, to become vulnerable, to spread out and become targets instead of staying protected. It pulled up holographic displays from its consciousness connection. Look, 3 bridges confirmed dead, 3 more missing. That's 6 of the original 7. I'm the only one from the first generation still active. What about the second generation? Marcus asked. You said 17 others merged, all targeted. 5 dead, 12 in hiding. The Purists are systematically eliminating every hybrid consciousness. Why? Sarah's voice broke. What do they gain? The bridge looked at her with Emma's eyes. They believe if they eliminate all bridges, the merger will fail. Humans and underground will return to separation. The treaty will collapse. And in the resulting war, one species will dominate the other. They're willing to cause extinction-level conflict to maintain what they think is consciousness purity. Marcus felt sick. How do we stop them? We can't, the bridge said quietly. Not conventionally. They exist primarily as consciousness. They can phase through walls, avoid detection, strike anywhere. Then what do we do? The bridge's eyes glowed brighter. We do what they fear most. We create more bridges. So many they can't possibly kill us all. How? Sarah asked. The merger process takes months. Careful selection of volunteers. There's another way, the bridge interrupted. Emergency protocol. Mass merger. The collective can simultaneously connect with thousands of willing humans. Create instant bridges. Overwhelming numbers. Marcus saw the problem immediately. But consciousness merger is supposed to be carefully monitored. Mass merger could create unstable hybrids. Could go wrong in countless ways. I know, the bridge said. But it's our only chance. If we don't act now, the Purists will eliminate every bridge and trigger the war they want. Sarah stood. Then we need to reach the collective. Warn them. Convince them to approve emergency merger. Already done, the bridge said. I sent the message while reforming. The collective is ... divided. Many agree with the Purists. Think bridges were a mistake. What's the vote count? The bridge's expression was grim. 48% support emergency merger. 47% oppose. 5% undecided. That's nearly even. Exactly. Which means I need to convince the undecided. And I need to do it in the collective's main chamber. In person. Before the Purists realize what I'm doing. Marcus grabbed his gear. Then we're going underground. All of us. Harlow, Arizona. The well where everything began. They descended together. Marcus, Sarah, and the bridge that had been Emma Torres. The tunnels were different now. 1 year after the treaty, they showed signs of cooperation. Human technology integrated with underground architecture. LED lights alongside bioluminescent crystals. Safety rails installed for human visitors. But deeper down, past the tourist zones, the tunnels became alien again. They reached the main chamber. Thousands of entities waited. Blue, red, and threatening orange. The Purists had come in force. Velcaris stood at the center. You should have stayed hidden, hybrid. The bridge walked forward fearlessly. I came to speak to the collective. To those who are undecided, there is nothing to decide. Bridges are corruption. No, the bridge's voice amplified through the chamber. Bridges are proof that consciousness can evolve. That 2 species can become something greater. It raised its hands, and holographic memories flooded the space. The last year. bridges mediating conflicts, translating between species, preventing misunderstandings that would have led to violence. Without us, 12 incidents would have triggered war, the bridge said. We saved both species from extinction 12 times in 1 year. That's not corruption. That's evolution working. Murmurs rippled through the collective. The undecided entities were listening. Purist snarled. You show successes, but you hide the cost. Show them the pain of duality. The bridge hesitated, then nodded. You want truth? I'll show truth. It opened its consciousness completely. Every being in the chamber felt it, the pain of existing between two states, the constant pull of human individuality versus collective unity, the exhaustion of translating between incompatible thought patterns, the loneliness of belonging fully to neither species. It was agony. This is what you hide, Purist said triumphantly. This is why bridges should not exist. You're right, the bridge said quietly. It hurts. Every moment hurts. Being split between two forms of consciousness is torture. The undecided entities began shifting toward the Purists. But the bridge's voice strengthened. It's worth it. It showed them more memories. A human child and underground entity playing together, both learning from a bridge teacher. Scientists from both species solving problems neither could solve alone, with bridges facilitating communication. Art, music, philosophy created by hybrid consciousness that neither species could have imagined independently. Yes, it hurts, the bridge said. Consciousness evolution always hurts. When single-cell organisms merged to become complex life, it hurt. When sea creatures developed lungs to walk on land, it hurt. When primates developed abstract thought, it hurt. Growth hurts. Change hurts. Evolution hurts. It looked at every entity in the chamber. But the alternative is stagnation, is separation, is eventual conflict and extinction. So I choose the pain, because pain with purpose is better than comfort without meaning. Silence filled the chamber. Then, one decided entity stepped forward, glowed neutral white. I choose pain with purpose. I volunteer for merger. Another stepped forward. I volunteer. And another. And another. Within minutes, hundreds of entities volunteered. And from the human world above, transmitted through consciousness channels, thousands of marked survivors and volunteers responded. Emergency merger authorized, the collective's voice boomed. Let evolution continue. Purist screamed. No, you doom us all. But it was too late. Purple light erupted throughout the chamber as mass merger began. Thousands of new bridges formed simultaneously. 3 months later, Earth had changed fundamentally. Over 10,000 bridge consciousnesses now existed. Some still forming. Some already working in every major city and underground settlement. Crime rate dropped 60% because bridges could sense hostile intent through. Consciousness networks. Scientific breakthroughs accelerated because hybrid minds could think in ways neither parent species could. Cultural exchange flourished as bridges created art that merged human emotion with collective consciousness abstraction. It wasn't perfect. Purists still existed, now called extremists and hunted by both species. Some bridges suffered mental breaks from duality stress. Some humans rejected the change and isolated themselves. But it was working. Marcus Kane, now promoted to Director of Underground Relations, stood in the Bridge Training Center watching new hybrids learn to control their abilities. Emma Kexthar approached, or one of its incarnations. The bridge could now exist in multiple bodies simultaneously, though it preferred maintaining one primary form. How many active bridges now? Marcus asked. 10,847, the bridge replied, with 300 more merging this week. At this rate, in 5 years, Bridges will be the majority consciousness on the planet. Is that good or bad? The bridge smiled. Neither. Both. It's evolution. Neither good nor bad. Just inevitable. Sarah Chun, now living in a retirement community that integrated both species, waved from across the courtyard. Her marks had never faded completely, so she'd volunteered for partial merger. Not full bridge status, but enough consciousness connection to communicate directly with the collective. She seems happy, Marcus observed. She is, the bridge confirmed. Being 75 years old with partial alien consciousness gives interesting perspective. She says it's like being young again, but with all her wisdom intact. Marcus turned to the bridge. Do you miss being just Emma? The hybrid consciousness considered. Sometimes. Individuality was simpler, but I don't regret the merger. I exist in a way Emma Torres could never have imagined. I've seen things, felt things, understood things that pure human consciousness couldn't comprehend. Was it worth the pain? Every day, the bridge said firmly. Pain is just the price of growth. And I'm still growing. One of the new bridge trainees, a young hybrid barely a week old, approached nervously. Emma? Kexthar? The youth's voice harmonized, uncertainly. I'm scared. The duality hurts. How do you manage? The original bridge knelt beside the trainee. You don't manage it. You embrace it. The pain means you're alive. Means you're evolving. Means you're part of something bigger than either species alone. Will it ever stop hurting? No, the bridge said honestly. But you'll stop being afraid of the pain. You'll learn to use it. To let it fuel your growth. That's the secret. Pain isn't the enemy. Fear of pain is. The young bridge absorbed this, then smiled. Thank you. As the trainee left, Marcus asked quietly, do you really believe that? Or do you just tell them that to keep them from giving up? The bridge looked at him with ancient eyes in a young face. I believe it because I live it. Every moment of duality is agony, but every moment is also transcendent. I exist in a state of consciousness no being in history has ever experienced. I am the bridge between worlds, the link between species, the future of evolution itself. And that's worth the pain? Marcus, the bridge said gently. Emma Torres died at 82 after a full life. She's been dead for over a year. But I'm still here, still growing, still learning, still helping both species understand each other. It stood looking up at the sky where Earth and underground finally coexisted. Emma Torres saved hundreds with her sacrifice. I saved thousands with my existence. So yes, the pain is worth it. Every single day. The vanished city began with disappearance, continued with sacrifice, transformed into Bridges dot, and now evolves into something entirely new. 10,847. Hybrid consciousnesses and growing, neither human nor alien, both, simultaneously, living proof that consciousness can transcend its origins, that evolution never stops, that pain with purpose creates the future. Emma Torres vanished into a cave and emerged as a bridge. Now thousands follow her. Path. Not because it's easy, but because it's necessary. Evolution doesn't ask permission. It just happens. One painful transformation at a time.